Hello and welcome to Set K of the Virtual SG series, Southern Exposure. This itinerary begins and ends at Tourism Court, Orchard Spring Lane, and is a combination of coach and walking sections. The theme of this tour is Southern Exposure. Focusing on the southern part of Singapore, the three major stops of interest are Gardens by the Bay, attractions on Sentosa Island, and Mount Faber Peak. Emphasis will be on portions of the in-coach and walking journeys that were not covered in previous videos. The route along Orchard Road and Basah has been discussed several times. Therefore, let me summarize the two. Orchard Road is a shopping and residential part of the city. Festivities heat up near Christmas time, with festive decor as gift shopping takes hold. The lower part of Orchard Road is home to the official residence of the President of Singapore and the Prime Minister's office. Bras Basah Road has long been home to schools and museums, including the Singapore Art Museum, National Museum, Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts, and Singapore Management University. As a historic quarter of Singapore, Raffles Hotel and the Civilian War Memorial are also landmarks of the area. Driving along Nickel Highway, buildings on the right rest on reclaimed land, including Esplanade Theatres on the Bay, the Merlion, and Marina Bay Sands. On the diamond-shaped mainland of Singapore, the southern section is where the center of the city resides. Here, offices and businesses take priority over residences and industries. As we pass the central business district, catch a glimpse of some of the tallest buildings on the island, including Republic Plaza and Capita Spring, from the top of which on a clear day it is possible to see three countries in one view: Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia, reminding one of the smallness of this island and hence the ever continuing reclamation of land. Much of the recently reclaimed land continues to sit empty while the ground is allowed to consolidate and settle, explaining the expansive open spaces in these parts. The land reclamation process begins with the construction of a rocky embankment around the area to be filled. Sand is then brought over and topped up to ground level. The excess water must be drained so that the sand compacts and gains strength to support new buildings. In the next 30 to 50 years, this part of Singapore will see new residential housing, offices, retail, and recreational offerings. In the meantime, these are open fields Singaporeans may temporarily take respite from the urban built up environment that the rest of the island typically is. Gardens by the Bay properly comprises three gardens by the bay: Bay South, Bay East, and Bay Central. Bay South contains all of the attractions to be discussed. Conceived in 2005 as the centerpiece of the city's transformation from Garden City to City in the Garden, the $1.03 billion project, designed by Grant Associates, opened its doors in 2012. Bay South takes up 54 of the 101-hectare park. Access by coach is from the south via Marina Gardens Drive. For traveling within the park, a ticketed shuttle service with limited stops is available. The main path leads visitors directly to the two cooled conservatories, passing a small cluster of super trees. Made of metal between 25 and 50 meters tall, a total of 18 trees are scattered in parts of the garden. The metal structures support vertical gardens of soilless plants, such as ferns, vines, orchids, and air plants from the bromeliads family. The latter are easily identified by their scaling looking leaves, which serve to trap water in the air. It might surprise you to know that pineapples are a form of bromeliad. Desert lovers should stop by the Sun Pavilion just outside of the cloud forest, and then get relief from the heat at Far East Organization's Children's Garden. Heading the other way toward the Super Tree Grove, one passes the largest floral clock in Singapore. The Super Tree Grove comprises the largest cluster of super trees. Here, multiple ways exist for one to take in the sights and sounds of these avatar inspired structures. The OCBC Skyway affords visitors a canopy walk between the trees. While the Super Tree Observatory takes visitors to the highest point at 16 stories tall. Over 200 different species of plants are contained in these vertical gardens, which together with photovoltaic cells on the roof make the structure carbon positive. Sights are complemented by sounds at 7:45 and 8:45 p.m. in the evenings at the Garden Rhapsody shows. The four heritage gardens, representing the colonial, Malay, and Chinese and Indian style of gardens, fringe the super tree grove. Ash crops of rubber, cocoa, and oil palm populate the colonial garden. The Malay garden is identified by a small pondok shelter. While the Chinese garden is made obvious by the use of natural rocks and moongates. The Indian garden is anchored by a banyan tree and its aerial roots. Finally, the air-conditioned floral fantasy near Bayfront MRT presents art using floral arrangements as a medium. Continuing from Gardens by the Bay, the bus is expected to return to the south, flowing along Marina Boulevard and connecting onto Marina Coastal Expressway. We continue on Keppel Viaduct and then Teluk Blangah Road. turning at Sentosa Gateway and crossing Keppel Harbour into Sentosa Island. Marina Coastal Expressway is Singapore's most expensive expressway per kilometre at $4.1 billion for just 5 kilometres. Part of the reason is due to an undersea tunnel section. The expressway was opened in 2013 to allow drivers traveling east to west and vice versa to bypass the city centre. To the left is Tanjong Pagar Terminal of the Port of Singapore. Most of southern Singapore has for a large part of colonial history been allocated to the receipt and dispatch of trading ships. The southern tip of Singapore lies at the turning point of trading ships traveling between China and India. As they turned from the Strait of Malacca into the South China Sea. It's for this geographic location that Singapore rose in prominence in the 19th and 20th century. Containerization of shipping in the 1970s further cemented the port's importance, having the requisite facilities to support such operations. As land in these parts command a premium, efforts are being undertaken to move port operations out of the city and to the western end of Singapore, some 30 kilometers away. In future, all port operations are expected to be consolidated in one giant megaport, with land in the city freed up for urban development. The island resort of Sentosa was an anomaly in that it was saved from becoming a port terminal. Once a British defensive base for the harbour approach, urban planners proposed preserving the greenery of the island after the British withdrawal. A decision was made to develop the island into a holiday resort in 1972. The same year, the Merlion came into fruition and tourism began to take prominence as a pillar of the economy. This causeway linking the island to mainland Singapore was completed in 1992. The island may be subdivided into 5 distinct sections. The northern section is occupied by Singapore's second integrated resort project, Resorts World Sentosa, anchored by Adventure Cove Water Park, Sea Marine Aquarium, Universal Studios Theme Park, and the casino. The western section is capped by one of the 4 British forts on Sentosa, Fort Siloso. Experience the life of a British soldier in the park. The eastern section is a waterfront district of residences known as Sentosa Cove. Only the commercial area by the marina is open to the public. The central span is a forested section of higher ground with nature trails and cable car lines, including those from the Sentosa Luge and the Flying Fox zipline from hilltop to beach, operated by Megazip Adventures. Finally, on the southern span are the sandy beaches of Siloso, Palawan, and Tanjong. Independent restaurants and attractions such as AJ Hackett Bungee, iFly Indoor Skydiving, and Wings of Time Light and Water Show may be found along the beaches alongside beachside food and beverage outlets. Transport services by bus, beach tram, and monorail are free within the island while tickets apply for the cable car system. The Sentosa Express offers the fastest connection between the north and south of the island's central spine. While the beach trams are the most direct way to travel between the beaches of the southern coastline. Sentosa Cove, Siloso Point, and the island's high point of Imbia are best accessed by buses running from Beach Station Bus Terminal. There is much to do on the island for visitors of all budgets and interests, with some 28 unique attractions for the family. For peace of mind, one may avail the Sentosa Fun Pass, a prepaid pass that allows visitors access to a variety of island activities bundled by tokens. For the adventure seeking, Sentosa Luge, bungee, and indoor skydiving offer an exhilarating experience. These lovers will find time spent on the beach, swimming and playing ball entertaining enough. Free to use toilets, showers, and drinking water may be found within walking distance of all three beaches. Essentials are available at convenience stores throughout the island. As of this video, 7-Elevens may be found at Siloso and Palawan beaches, Imbiah Monorail Station, Sentosa Cove, and Resorts World Sentosa. Leaving Sentosa the same way we come in, a shortcut through Telok Blangah Road and Kampong Baru Road leads us to the eastern entrance of Mount Faber Road, from which the bus climbs up towards Mount Faber Peak. The upclimbing route is heavily forested, with fleeting glimpses of the lower ground. This section of the route has also been discussed in previous videos. A key landmark onward to Mount Faber Peak is the cable car station. Running parallel to the road is the Southern Ridges Park Connector Network, linking the three Hills of southern Singapore, Mount Faber, Telok Blangah Hill Park, and Kentridge Park. Mount Faber Peak has been revisited many times previously. Both the murals and view of the surroundings have been discussed. Key points include the many southern islands of Singapore and their uses, from petrochemical to landfill. The harbour of Singapore, a parking lot for ships. The urban density of Singapore, a concrete jungle of high rise apartment blocks. And the lone tree at the peak, representing Singapore's greening efforts as a city in nature. Southern Singapore is one part of Singapore most visitors will be acquainted with, as it holds many of the country's well known attractions, such as Gardens by the Bay and Sentosa. There's much more of Singapore to see and explore. Check out the other virtual history videos to find out more.